Welcome to this movie about ergospirometry testing. This video contains all the steps from where the patient comes into the clinic, how he should prepare for it, how we should prepare for it, how to handle a machine, and also how to interpret the 9 panels in the end.
The ECG records the electrical activity of the heart, which is displayed on the monitor. The ECG consists of 10 ECG leads that are placed on the patient's body. These 10 electrodes are applied sequentially to the front and back side of the body. C1 goes on the 4th intercostal space under the clavicula on the right side of the upper body. C2 is applied on the same location but on the left upper body. C4 is applied under mid-clavicular line, 5th intercostal space on the left side of the chest. C3 is then applied in the middle between C2 and C4. The last 4 electrodes are limb leads and are applied at the back side of the body. L is applied on the back of the supraspinatus on the left side. R is applied on the back of the supraspinatus on the right side. When the patient is comfortably seated and the ECG, mask, and blood pressure measurements are applied, the test can start. The patient is asked to keep working up to his max and bike with the same pace and do his best until real exhaustion. The therapist should motivate the patient during the test. The values will show up directly on our monitor and can be read by the therapist during the test. In the 8 boxes at the bottom, you can see the values being measured. The most important measures for us are the RER, the CO2, the O2, the ventilation, and the heart rate. The RER shows the respiratory exchange rate. Now you can see that it's at 0.82. The VCO2 box shows the production of CO2 breathed out by liters per minute. The VO2 box shows the consumption of O2 breathed in by liters per minute. If you look at the relationship between these 3 boxes, you can see that at the moment there's more O2 breathed in than CO2 breathed out, which makes the RER less than 1. In the heart rate box, you can follow the changes within the heart rate. The heart rate should increase with exercise. The ventilation shows the minute ventilation measured in liters. This is expected to increase during exercise. By looking at the values, you can see that the patient has reached VO2 max. The CO2 is higher than O2, and the minute ventilation and the heart rate has increased significantly. When the patient has reached his max, a cool-down period will be started. Here the patient will bike a few minutes with lower intensity. In the recovery phase, ventilation and heart rate should decrease to resting values. However, in this phase, it's normal to see that the body is hyperventilating, which still raises the RER and the CO2 values. After 2 minutes, this should be gone, and all values should decrease to resting level. After this, the test is finished and the equipment will be taken off.
Here you can see the 9 panels summarized on one page of our patient. At that moment, we only want to focus on the most relevant panels for a physiotherapist. In our opinion, those are panel 3, panel 5, panel 8, panel 7, and panel 4. This panel can be seen as the most important panel for a physiotherapist. With the help of interpreting the RER, one can evaluate if the test was performed properly and the patient reached his maximum. This often needs additional motivation from the therapist during the test in order to reach an RER higher than 1.2. In the beginning of the test subject has an RER of approximately 0.8. Those values increase during the test and with increasing exercise intensity. The patient reaches his VO2 max at 14 minutes. After this, the patient goes into recovery. Here we can see that RER increased in the beginning of recovery and decreases again. This is due to hyperventilation.